Adé tó tinú àdéwà òun ni ìyọ̀wà ìlẹ̀kẹ̀ tí ń gbélẹ̀kẹ̀ mi ní ìjòyè kárọ̀ṣọ tí ò wọ́pọ̀ káfípele tí ò wọ́pọ̀ lè ní ìyálòdì. Jolas Radio and TV láti máa láǹfààní láti máa jẹ ìgbádùn àwọn ètò lórúkọ ọ̀jọ̀kan, ètò bí ètò eré ìdárayá, ètò tó ń gbẹ́búrọ́, ètò tó ń múlẹ́rọ́, ètò tó ń gbé àṣà Yorùbá lárugẹ, ètò tó ń kọ́ àwọn ọ̀dọ́ bí a ṣe ń ṣe ilé ayé, ètò tó ń mú wa súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run ní gbogbo ojoojúmọ́ ọjọ́ ayé wa. Jolas Radio and TV láti máa ní àǹfààní láti máa jẹ ìgbádùn àwọn ètò yìí lọ́lọ́kan ọ̀jọ̀kan. Ẹ máa gbọ́ wa Jolas Radio and TV.
You're welcome to Word of Exaltation. I am Chinyere Adeyemo, and this is Jolas Online Radio and TV station, Eleyele Ibadan. This morning, by the grace of God, on Word of Exaltation, we will be looking at a topic that affects all of us. The topic is going to be in form of a question. And the topic is, are you appreciative of people? Are you appreciative of people? Let me tell us a story. 10 women went to a hospital. There were 10 women in the hospital. Not that 10 women went. 10 women, there were 10 women in the hospital at a particular point in time. And it happened that a consultant came and he decided to attend to the 10 women. Their children were ill. A pediatric consultant. He came and he decided to attend to the 10 women. And when he attended to them, when it was time for them to pay their bills, they were told that the consultant said they shouldn't pay. They had taken care of the bills. They were very, very happy. They were jubilant. And it happened too that 9 of those 10 women, they were of the same tribe with the consultant. But there was this other woman, the 10th woman, she was not of the same tribe. And when they realized at the counter that the consultant had paid for them, they were all very happy. They went their various ways with their children. They collected their drugs from the pharmacy. They went their various ways. 3 days after, this 10th woman, who is not of the same tribe with the consultant, came back to the hospital. She came back with her child, who was already much better. Came back with her husband. Came back with another relation. And they came with a big basket of fruits. You know what they came to do? They came to say thank you to the consultant. And not just the consultant, they had something to give everybody, every worker that was on duty. Why? They were appreciative of the fact that their child was ill. The consultant treated the child free and the child got well, and they brought the child back to say, thank you, our child is well. When they returned, they met the consultant. The consultant was so touched by their gesture. I mean, they were thanking him, and you will see that they were thanking him from their hearts. And after they had gone, a week after, this lady called again to say thank you to the consultant.
We lift our voice. We thank you.
After that, weekly she would call to appreciate the. It was the consultant was very, very pleased and happy that he helped her. But you know, he kept asking a question. How come? Were there not 10 women that I treated for free with their sick children? How come it is only this woman, who is not even of my tribe, that came back to appreciate and say thank you? If you were the consultant, how would you have felt? How do you feel when you do good to people and they do not appreciate? How do you feel? It's not a good feeling, is it? That is exactly how it is when we are not appreciative of people. This story I just told you is also a contemporary version of the story that is in the book of Luke, chapter 17, verse 11 to 19. You know, many of us may not be able to relate with leprosy and lepers, but we can relate with women with their children who go to the hospital. That was exactly how it was in the Bible. 10 lepers were healed, only 9 did not return to appreciate. It was only one who was even a foreigner, as the Bible puts it, that went back to appreciate. And it got Jesus asking a question: were there not 10 lepers healed? How come it is only this one Samaritan that returned to say thank you? Now, what does this also tell me? It tells me that God is concerned about our appreciation. God He notices it when we appreciate. Similarly, people notice it when we appreciate. So do you appreciate people? Are you an appreciative person? Or you're a critical, fault-finding person? Nothing anybody does is good enough for you. Are you that kind of person? If you are, you need to change, because even God appreciates people who appreciate. Now, what does it mean to be an appreciative person? What does it mean to be appreciative of people in our lives? You know, a lot of times, it's so easy to take people for granted. It's so easy to act like to act entitled. As a child, it's easy to act entitled. You make it look like, yes, your parents must do this thing. As a spouse, are you an entitled person? As a relation, as a worker, as an employer, as an employee, as a neighbor, are you an entitled person? Do you have this entitlement mindset, entitlement mentality? I think you need to check your life if you do. Because you see, there's something about being appreciative. When you are appreciative, you ooze out a great aura, pleasant aura. People even always want to be around you. Everybody deserves to be appreciated. It doesn't matter their status. If your employee does something for you, say thank you. Now, what does it mean to appreciate people? Appreciating people means letting them know you are pleased to be associated with them. Letting them know that you are glad they are in your life. Letting them know you appreciate, you are happy, you are grateful, they are supportive of you. Do you know that if people even make promises to you and they haven't even fulfilled it, you should be appreciating them for even thinking of making such promises, not to talk of when they fulfill such promises. So it is very, very important as a believer that you develop the habit of appreciating people regularly. It is important you make it even a lifestyle to appreciate people in your life regularly. And of course, I need not tell you that you need to make it a lifestyle to appreciate God regularly. Appreciate Him every time. Why? Because everything He does is good. Now, what is the cost of appreciation? When we say let's appreciate people, does it have a cost? Of course it has a cost. The cost of appreciation is giving. The cost of any form of appreciation is giving. And I will take some time to explain this. A scripture for it will be from from John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. What does it mean? He so loved, he gave. Now that means that you cannot love somebody, you cannot appreciate anybody without giving. I know right now you may be thinking you don't have what to give. But can I burst your bubble? When we talk about giving, we're not necessarily talking about giving money. We're not necessarily talking about giving money. Now, when we talk about appreciating people, it doesn't always have to be in monetary terms. There are different ways we can appreciate, and I will give us a list of some of the ways. It is inexhaustive. This is just some of the ways we can appreciate people. We can appreciate people through encouragement. We can appreciate people by encouraging them. Thank you very much. I appreciate what you did for me. You know, as you do that, you're encouraging them to do more. You cannot appreciate and keep quiet. That's the crux now. You can't say you are appreciative of what somebody has done and then it's in your mind. You don't appreciate in your mind. You don't appreciate in your stomach. You appreciate by expressing it verbally and then through other means. So I said one of the ways we can appreciate people is by expressing it verbally. What does it do when you do that? It encourages them. We can also appreciate people by giving our time. Appreciation must not always be in monetary currency. We can appreciate people by giving them our time. There are many elderly people. We can go and show them some appreciation by spending time with them. Do you know time is also a currency? When you go to spend time with people, you're actually spending something, because that time that you have spent cannot be got back. So we can appreciate by expressing verbally, by encouraging, by spending our time. In these days of technology, you can appreciate by putting a call through. And if a call is costly, you can appreciate by sending an SMS. You can appreciate by making a video call. You can appreciate by giving material things. I don't understand how, for instance, a woman who makes hair, who plants hair, or fixes hair or something, or makes dresses. Let's use the example of a pastor now, your leader in church. You say, okay, you don't have money to give, you don't have this to give, and then your leader's wife makes her hair. Do you know part of appreciating them in your life is making hair for them for free or even for a discount? Do you understand that if, for instance, whatever your trade is, you can take something from that and appreciate. I am not necessarily limiting this to only pastors. We can appreciate one another. It's not proper that somebody would have been in your church, in your neighborhood, in your vicinity for a while, and then they have not felt you. You've never given them a gift, you've never smiled at them, you've never spent time to encourage them, you've never spent time perhaps to give them counsel, you've never spent time to do anything with them. That's not good enough. We must show appreciation by doing these things. So I said we can appreciate, we can show appreciation to people in our lives by verbally expressing it. We can go digital with it, send an SMS, make a call, do some graphics, celebrate them online, celebrate them digitally. Let people know that these people, they mean a lot to you. We can also, like I said, spend time. We can give material gifts. We can render physical services. We can render physical services to show appreciation. You know, in our society, in our cultural environment, it is usually not proper to see an older person carrying something heavy, and then you too, as a young person, you're just walking past. You should even offer to help. We can show appreciation to people in our lives by doing these things. And can I also say that you should not allow the status or the profile of the people you want to appreciate intimidate you. You know, a lot of times when people look at people we call rich people, and then you've already told yourself you're a poor person, you're like, you don't even know what to give them. How can you even, what do you know that you will give this person? Do you know that many times these people we tag rich people, they usually don't have many people giving to them, because it is assumed that they have. So what can a poor person want to give? Do you understand? Now imagine you looking for something small to give that person. Do you remember the story of the widow that we all talk about? Widow that gave her widow's mite. The Bible records that people went to give their offering in church. They went to give out of their abundance. And this woman, the last that she had, she gave. And Jesus noticed her. Jesus said she was the one that gave the most because she gave all she had. So, if you want to give, don't always wait till you have plenty. Sometimes it's a mirage, because that plenty may never gather to become plenty like you want. So even out of the little you have, give. Let me share a personal story with you. Some years ago, I went to a town, outside where I lived, and I wanted to visit my pastor then, his family. They were living in that town. And you know, as I alighted the town, I actually went for a research. So after my research, I was like, okay, this is the town where my pastor's wife lives. Let me say hello to her. I went to her office. They said she had gone home. And I was like, let me just go and see her. And as a habit, they have taught me that don't ever go to see a minister of God without a gift, no matter how small. I learned that several years ago. So I now wanted to pick something for her within my budget. I wanted to buy a loaf of bread. And I was like, loaf. I didn't even like the way the bread was packaged in the place I saw bread. I now saw packets of matches. 2. Not the single one, packet of 10. So I just picked 2 packs. And I said I would go to give her. So I took the vehicle that would take me to the place. As I got there, she was very happy to see me. You're welcome. Mama Ima, you're welcome. Thank you for coming to see us in our village and all that. She called the place. It was a developing area. Cut long story short, and I presented her with these gifts. Appreciation. And you know what she did? She was so appreciative. Me that I was even feeling shy, that imagine it's this small thing I brought. She was like, Mama, you don't even know what you have done for me. That do I know that they used their last matchstick in the house. Their house was very far from town, very, very far. And there weren't people around them yet. You know how those kind of developing areas are. And that because they didn't calculate it well, when they realized it was the last stick of match they used, they now had to put on a lamp. So the lamp stayed all night. They kept it so that they can use from that lamp to light their cooking things, you know, the gas and all that, from that lamp. Because they knew by morning they wouldn't be able to go very early to town to get matches. Do you know what now happened? I now brought 2 packets of matches. She was so happy. As far as she was concerned, it was God that led me to bring that. And she was really appreciative. How do you think I felt? I felt good that my small gift was appreciated. Now, what does it mean? It means that anybody can give anything. Don't think you're too poor that you cannot give. There is nobody so poor that he doesn't have something to give. I've listed the things you can give. It doesn't always have to be money. Now, another thing, in fact, Matthew chapter 9 verse 41 tells us that if anyone gives a prophet even a cup of water, because he is a prophet, he will get a reward. Do you understand? Jesus so simplified it that even a cup of water that you give is a big deal. So nobody has any excuse. Now let's run through why we should appreciate. Why we should be appreciative. We should be appreciative because God remembers. Hebrews chapter 6 verse 10 tells us that, see, for God is not unjust. Another version says God is not unfair. He will not forget your labor of love towards him and towards the saints. Another version says he will not forget how hard you have worked for him and how you have shown your love to him by caring for other Christians as you still do. Which means that when you care for other people, you are actually showing your love to God. So why should we be appreciative? We should be appreciative because God will remember. God remembers, he does not forget. Another reason we should be appreciative is because Hebrews chapter 10 verse 24, I'm paraphrasing, tells us that we should compete in doing good. Do you understand? We should compete in doing good. One of my children used to have a teacher. That young man was skillful at giving. There was nothing he could not give. Some days he will send me a bottle of granuts. Some other days he will send fruits. Some other days, he was just skillful at giving. And what happened? I also was challenged to always want to give him something too. So why should we be appreciative? We should be appreciative of people around us because it will also build a healthy it will help us develop a healthy habit to appreciate others, and then as we do it, others are challenged to do it too, and then we have a better society. Before I go, let me give us an assignment. Yes, I know this is not classroom, but we have learned something today about appreciating others. When we appreciate others, we encourage them. When we appreciate others, we challenge them. When we appreciate others, we remind them of what they too should do to others. When we appreciate others, we spread the fragrance of God's love around. And people are challenged. People notice us and they even want to listen to the sermon, what we are saying about Jesus. You know, it's a very silent way of preaching about the love of God. Now, the assignment I'm going to give you, look for 5 people around you. Today, as you're listening to me, as you have listened, 5 people around you, appreciate them. Be specific about why you're appreciating them. Appreciate them for being in your life. Appreciate them for the good they have done. Look for something they do that you admire, that you appreciate, and appreciate them. Why? So that we can spread this thing. It has a spiraling effect. The person you appreciate will be very happy. The person too will learn to appreciate another person, and that is just how it goes. You have been listening to Jolash Online Radio and TV station, and the program has been Word of Exaltation. I am Chinyere Adeyemo. Did you learn anything about appreciation? Did you? I want to encourage you. Go out there and be appreciative of people. Till I come your way next week with the Word of Exaltation. Bye-bye.